to a teacher in Hamden High School. He's a history teacher. And he was telling me that the way they're going to teach history under Common Core is you ask the students what happened during the Vietnam War. Now, how is a 13, 14, 15-year-old that was not alive at the time, was never a soldier serving in Vietnam, was never a person that was from the press corps or anything like that.
Vote for Phil Tripp!
Woo! Know about what happened during the Vietnam War. Hey! There it goes.
I made
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled. A very good friend of mine, Joe Visconti, just walked into the room. I support him wholeheartedly. Joe Visconti is a great guy, supporter of the Second Amendment, and he's a businessman. He has a business and construction background, similar to what I've done. He did a lot better than me, but we understand each other. Joe's a blue-collar, hard-working guy, and I'd just like to hand the mic over, and if you could just listen to what he has to say for 5 or 10 minutes. I really admire this guy and what he has to say. Joe, thank you for coming.
Hey, thanks. Sorry I'm late. My mom went to the doctors, and it was at the hospital. She thought it was the end of the world, and she did have a fractured rib, though, so all day long we were like, oh my God. So anyway, glad to be here, glad I could make it. Spun down Route 15 pretty quick. Thanks for coming out for Phil. He's a great guy. I just want to tell you all quickly what's happening in Connecticut, because there's so many people that are not clear as to Dan Malloy, the Democrat Party. Can we really win? I've been in this race almost a year. April 4th will be a year in the race. And I've been crisscrossing the state for a year, talking to tens of thousands of people. And you have to understand how it is. People don't have money in their pockets. They can't pay their electric bills. Electricity is killing everyone, especially this winter. Folks are using electric heat and oil and wood stoves. I mean, it's that bad. People don't like to complain. I'm a blue-collar worker. No, I'm a contractor. I'm a carpenter. I can build this building with my hands. So when I'm out asking them the questions, they'll tell me. We've all had a hard time in the last several years with this depression. It's not going away. So just so you understand, the pain, the economic pain, is very, very deep for everybody. Democrats, unaffiliated, everybody's suffering. And they don't see the light coming at the end of the tunnel, that there's no light. Phil mentioned the Forbes article, How Did Rich Connecticut Morph into One of the Worst Performing Economies in America? And that is a sobering article of just about how we got here over the last 5 or 6 decades. So everyone knows Dan Malloy is gone. I've been approached by many groups, even unions, and we'll be addressing a lot of the unions in the next few weeks because many of them, I won't mention who they are until it goes public, many of them don't want him. They don't want Dan Malloy, so the unions are turning on him. My motto to all union workers is not one more house and not one more job lost in Connecticut. We have to stop the bleeding. And right now, it's that bad. We're coming out of winter. We felt the spring today, and we all feel hope because we know today just how tough the winter's been. Between the weather and no money, it's hard. The people that do have money are worried too. They're watching everyone. I'm from West Hartford. I was born and raised in Hartford, but I live in West Hartford, very liberal town today, but it wasn't always that way. And our food banks are empty all the time. People in West Hartford, many of them are hard workers, they have businesses, they're paying their mortgage, they're paying the big bills, and they don't have anything left on the table, and they're too proud to go down and get food stamps and go through that process, or they go hungry. It's that bad, and I want everyone to understand, this is not politics, this is real, and I know it's real because I've been on the trail a year, and this is why the pain is going to transfer to new leadership. I pray that I'm the new leader in this state. I'm prepared at 57 years old. My political experience as a town councilor in West Hartford, running against John Larson for Congress in 2008, a business owner, a man who was raised in 40 years in the trades at every level of building multi-million-dollar projects with my dad. And I just love the country, I love the state like Phil does. And our party's going to do well. We just need to recruit, and we are recruiting Democrats and unaffiliated, and let them come over. I'll bash all the Democrat leaders all day long, but the Democrats do want to come over and vote for the Republican candidates, and we have to welcome them into the party. And it's that important this year, because otherwise Connecticut residents are going to continue to exodus if they can get out. So we're in dire straits. We all know we've been there. We're tough Connecticut residents. We don't like to give up. We stand our ground, and we fight. We think it'll get better. It's not going to get better under Dan Malloy. It's going to get worse. I'm petrified we're going to lose our credit rating. We have low interest rates right now. Union workers are telling me they're worried about not their jobs as much as their pensions, what they've already been promised by the state. So we're at that point, and I don't know how they're keeping our credit rating not being downgraded, but it's inevitable. We got billions coming down the road next year, in next 2 years in debt, and it just isn't going to go away. We need new leadership that will promise, and this is what I promise, that we will turn the ship around slowly. Connecticut is a ship on fire that's sinking and drifting into the jetty, into the rocks. So it's going to take us time. It'll take us 7 years to come out of this. Not totally out at the point where there is pride to be in Connecticut, pride to be a Connecticut resident, pride from people to say, business owners, you know what, I'm going to hire. Today was a very, very, very sobering poll came out across America, a national poll. 38% of businesses across America said they will lay off workers if minimum wage goes up. They're lower than they are here in Connecticut, which we're in the tank. And 56% said they would not hire, more hiring, and 64% said they would raise their prices for goods and services. I'm against the minimum wage today in Connecticut under a fierce recession. I'm on the record for it. Americans need a job first, then they need a tax break, and then they need a raise. And people that come into minimum wage, this is just polarization by the Obama and Malloy administration to try to get the poor angry at the Republicans. The reality is businesses are not going to hire. We're going across the state of Connecticut, Phil will see it too, with our 5,000 posters, 25,000, we're starting with 25,000 palm cards at small businesses across the state. And we're going to ask the small businesses to prove what we already know from the polls, and Connecticut is even worse. Why? Not just minimum wage, but why is Dan Malloy politically driving down the Main Street, Connecticut, throwing Molotov cocktails through their business storefront windows? Because that's what he's doing metaphorically. He's throwing Molotov cocktails through their windows, and they are under siege. So we'll have thousands of testimonials, not about just Joe, we want Joe, but here's what we need in Connecticut. We're the job creators, we're the small business owners. So that takes footwork, legwork, and every campaign, like Phil, Senate, State, and State Representative, they're all out there. Please, I know you're all working hard, but please help everyone. And if I'm not your choice for governor, please help the choice of governor that you have and get on their team as fast as possible. There's some really good people in the race, and I'm honored to be in the race with everyone. Martha Dean, John McKinney, Tom Foley, Mark Bowden, and Mark Loretti. Good people. We'll be debating at 9 o'clock tonight live in Danbury, and I think it's Comcast 23. It will be rebroadcast, and we will post it. So we have one of those happening tonight at 9. Thank you very much, and please keep it filling in.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Joe, once again, thanks for coming, Joe. I appreciate it.